Remember, when Brando did this, it was before Elvis. You know, Elvis was influenced. If you really think of what happened with The Wild One, it was the premonition of major things to come.
I was a junior in high school. We all started talking like Marlon. We all started wearing T-shirts and Levi's.
It was like an awesome picture because I never saw that. You know, guys came into town, they beat people up, they went home. And sometimes they were Indians, sometimes they were hoorah, killers, serial people, fighters, mean people. This was people with character.
Well, that photo of Brando sitting on his motorcycle from The Wild One is a very iconic picture. It also, Warhol made that one of his silk screens.
Many of those iconographic actors that we know, James Dean, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, you know, keep going. Brad Pitt, all those people that have developed a style that's reminiscent of, quote, I'm the hero, but kind of the anti-hero. You gotta like me even though I do bad things. This whole thing was born out of The Wild One. You look at this film from the very first frame, which is fantastic. There's a shadow in the foreground, and a very important thing with German Expressionism, shadows, light and dark shadows. This is a black and white film. And there's a crawl, and of course it's the classic, this story is real, it's a tragedy, let's hope it never happens again. And then out of the middle of nowhere comes this motorcycle gang. And you start off the movie with a sense like, whoa, this is not what I'm used to seeing in Hollywood. At the very beginning of this film, you're setting up an icon. He pulls into this rally. The CHP comes over, the authority figure, and tells him to get out.
All right, let's get rolling.
Brando doesn't do anything. He stays there, defiance.
This way.
Doesn't jump. I'm not frightened of you. And then he slowly takes his sunglasses and puts them on. How many times have you seen actors do this? It's the influential style that we've seen ad infinitum to boredom with, quote, method actors. They're all copying Brando. It was his style. When I look at Laszlo Benedict as a German Expressionist guy, first, German Expressionism is not subtle. The reality of the motorcycle gangs is good, but the lighting style is very arch. It's really heavy on the shadows. When you see the style of the film, these guys are riding their bikes and it's for real. They're really cruising in there. When they cruise into that town and there's a guy there's two guys stopping with flags, they're trying to block it off. The guy just barely gets out of the way. And I think that all through the film, Laszlo Benedict used that reality. He had some really great stunt people. You see them doing, in the middle of that town, doing Brodies in the street. There's a fantastic sequence where later in the piece, when the guy who's hurt his leg gets out of the hospital and they come back, he comes up the street and literally turns and drives without any kind of stunt, goes up and hits the doors to the cafe that spring open, he goes all the way through it. These guys were real bike riders.
One beer and a sidecar for my friend.
I always remember Brando walked down the diner and he spun all the stools. That was pretty neat, because nobody ever did that, like serious, like he could hurt you. And it was just that scariness of what could happen. And it was the first time I understood through The Wild One that the star should have a sense of danger about him. Is very good for a star.
Do you want something?
It perhaps made the strongest impression on me of anything in my life up till that point, because there's that scene in the local diner in the little town where the biker gang has invaded, and the local girl looks at Marlon Brando and she says, "Johnny, what are you rebelling against?" And Brando, "What do you got?" I saw the path my life would take. What have you got? I mean, it determined the course of my life.
It was just a picture that fascinated me. And I wasn't a biker. I barely rode a bike. I grew up in the Bronx. There was not a lot of bikers going up and down Marshalloo Parkway, where I lived. But we knew of them, and this just captured my imagination.
I think Laszlo Benedict did a really nice job. Stanley Kramer did a fabulous job understanding the nature of this.
Well, as long as there's motorcycle riders, there's going to be the Wild One. The Wild One's one of the great motorcycle pictures, and even though it may be stretching the truth a little, it's a wonderful premise of one of the biker gang getting arrested in the town, coming under siege from the bike gang to get their guy back out of prison.
I think the first time people are seeing this, they're going, wow, it had to have an impact. When you look at its influences on our society, it's pretty amazing. Whether it be James Dean, Paul Newman, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, or the Beatles, or Elvis Presley. They all saw the Wild One, and they were all influenced, and therefore we were all influenced in our culture.